In this tutorial, we'll learn how to easily and properly add motion blur in Adobe Premiere Pro and Adobe After Effects. First, let's do it in Premiere Pro. Here we have a football field in the background and this ball on the top of it. These are just still photos. The ball is a transparent PNG file. We'll move the ball from one side to another. In real life, there should be some motion blur while the ball is moving, and in this video we're gonna create that. Now if you go to Effect Controls and move the ball with the default position, then you won't be able to see any motion blur. For example, let's add keyframes in position. First, move the ball outside the program window. We're gonna add keyframes in X position so that it will move from left to right side. Now click the stopwatch icon to add a keyframe. Move few frames forward like 10 to 12 frames. And now move the X position to place it in the right side. You can use the numbers or you can double click in the ball and move it. When you move it, another keyframe will be added. Now if you play, you will see it moves from the left to right, but there is no motion blur. You can add the directional blur, but then you need to adjust the angle. Every time you change the ball direction, then you need to adjust the angle. Also, if there's a stoppage, then you need to add keyframes to it. So there are a lot of works when you use the directional blur, but there's an easier way. Let's delete the directional blur. Also, I'll remove the keyframes in position. Now go to Effects and search for Transform. It's in the Video Effects Distort folder. Now drag and drop it in the ball layer. In Effect Controls, you will see some similar types of options. Here we're gonna add keyframes in position just like we did before. Change the X-axis so that the ball is in the left side out of the screen. Don't forget to click the stopwatch icon. Now move forward few frames and move the ball to the right. But just like before, we do not have any motion blur yet. Now what we need to do is increase the shutter angle. We can increase it up to 360. The higher the number you place it here, the more motion blur you will get. I will go for 180. Now you see the motion blur is added. The motion blur is added from left to right, which is what we need here. By the way, you can also uncheck the Use Compositions Shutter Angle. The best part is, if I change the ball movement from up to downward, the motion blur will be adjusted. Let's delete this keyframe. I will make a movement from up to down. This time we're gonna add keyframes in Y-axis. It's the same thing, but now it's just vertical. Now you see the motion blur is adjusted. Even if I make a stoppage in the middle, the motion blur will be adjusted as well. For example, I will move the ball from left to the middle, then it will stop in the middle for a few frames, and then again it will move from the middle to the right. Now let's see what happens. Now you see when it stops in the middle, the motion blur is also removed. This is the advantage of using transform effect. The motion blur will be adjusted according to our settings. Now let's see how to add motion blur in Adobe After Effects. Here I have the same setup, the field in the background and the ball. Adding motion blur is a lot easier in After Effects. You just need to click one icon. First, add keyframes in position just like we did in Adobe Premiere Pro. With the ball layer selected, press P for position. Move the ball to the right and click the stopwatch icon to add a keyframe. Now move forward few frames and then move the ball to the right. Now if I play, you will see there isn't any motion blur. Now we just need to click one icon. If I hover over in this icon, then you will find the motion blur button. Just click to enable it for the ball layer and you will see the motion blur is added. If you need to change the amount of motion blur, then go to Composition, Composition Settings. Now click Advanced. Just like in Premiere Pro, here you can change the shutter angle. The higher the amount, the more motion blur will be applied. So this is how you can easily add motion blur in Adobe Premiere Pro and Adobe After Effects. Hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new from it. Like, share and subscribe for more tutorials every week. Thank you for watching.